So we did that, and we have it. It's about 87 minutes long, and that'll be coming out later this year. I've recorded 2 albums with the band, Carl Palmer Working Live Volume 1, Volume 2. Prior to that, I had an anthology album out, which was everything from my very first group I recorded with the King Bees, called the King Bees, to my very first encounter with Mike Oldfield, to the percussion concerto that I recorded with the London Symphony Orchestra, to a track that I recorded with the Buddy Rich Orchestra at Ronnie Scott's Club. So extremely eclectic, but it's the story of my life. It's called Do You Wanna Play, Carl? It's an anthology album, 2 CD set. So that's where I am.
Where's Mike Oldfield?
He still lives in England, as far as I know. He doesn't do very much. He's quite reclusive. A great composer, a great writer. So I think if people want to sort of just go to my website, see where I'm playing, www.carlpalmer.com, and you'll see that I'm doing quite an extensive tour, 5.5 weeks. I decided to come to America. I thought now was the time. I've got a beautiful existence in Europe because this type of music in Europe is highly sought after, especially in Italy, where I play an awful lot. I mean, they think they own progressive rock music. It's a true art form. It's like the Sistine Chapel to them. It has to be there, you know. But I thought now it was time to come into America. I felt confident enough to do it. I've had all of my success here throughout my career. America's been really good to me. And I enjoy touring here because it's the most convenient place in the world. You can get everything you want. Just pick up the phone, so it's lovely. And so we decided to, first of all, it was 2 weeks, then 3 weeks, then 4 weeks, and I've ended up 5.5 weeks. I start May the 24th and finish July the 3rd. So it's a good round trip. Nice horseshoe all the way around, east to west and up the middle. Actually, we're going to Canada as well.
How do a lot of people back home perceive America in the music industry? You mentioned Italy is they think they own progressive radio here in America. We had progressive radio in the 60s and the 70s, and DJs like Scott Muni, WNEW broke you.
Yeah.
WMMR, that doesn't exist anymore.
WMMR actually created radio history using Emerson, Lake and Palmer's music. Scott actually managed to get played on the radio when it came out in its entirety, 22 minutes, because that's all you could get on vinyl, the whole of Pictures at an Exhibition. And he timed it so we got off the plane at JFK, we got into the car, as we were driving along, we had it on. It'd all been pre-arranged, it was a surprise for us, and bam, it came on, and we couldn't believe it. Now, America in those days, radio was an absolute art form. An absolute art form, and it led the world, and it was just so fantastic. The radio was so knowledgeable about everything that was going on. There was no shock jocks, it was none of that. It was real art. You had great classical stations. Today it's even hard to find a classical station on the radio, it's ridiculous.
WNEW in New York has changed formats over the last six years. Scott passed away.
Yes, no, I was with Ken the other day, and he's
Ken Dashow.
Yes.
Ken's a good dear friend.
And he's gone to, well, you know where he is, don't you? Was it
Q104?
Yeah, 3. Yeah, so, and we talked about exactly the same thing. I mean, for English people to come to America in the 70s, it was just fantastic. It was absolutely fantastic.
I remember a conversation I had with Sting right around the time of Message in the Bottle was starting to hit. And this is right when they went from the Capitol Theater in Passaic, New Jersey, which was 3,500, to the Garden, which was 20,000. And that he was just saying how he couldn't listen to commercial radio then. And this is like 1979. He said, because we turn the BBC on and we hear everything. We'd go from Ray Charles to the Pink Panther theme to the Sex Pistols. So you were versed in the knowledge of so many different types of music.
Yes. Well, today, I mean, it's pretty much like it is in America. Radio is just too corporate. You know, there's too many sort of people investing in it and designing playlists. I mean, you won't hear Emerson, Lake and Palmer played in drive time, that's for sure. You might hear it at 3 o'clock in the morning in Naggadosha somewhere, but you're not going to hear it on general radio. It just doesn't exist here. And the same in England. We do have a channel program called Planet Rock, which plays nothing but. We've just got them coming back. Yeah, satellite.
Okay, I listened to BBC Two.
Yeah, no.
On the computer.
Planet Rock. You better get it on your PC, on your laptop. Planet Rock. Rick Wakeman is actually a host on the show, and I have to tell you, they go through the prog rock. They play it all. They play the metal. They play, you know, all that sort of early Black Sabbath. They do the whole thing, and we're eventually getting it back. You know, it's coming back in. It's had to be set up by independents to make it work, but people have waited so long and got so tired. There's obviously a lot of guys my age who've got together, invested money, and said, "Hey, we need to get this out there again." And we've got one. It's been going a couple of years now, and it's growing and growing and growing all the time. But America actually was the leader in that, to tell you the truth, and that's what attracted a lot of English bands here because of that.
Well, not only was the leader, then, I mean, you could get on the road, then he wasn't. I mean, without having a symphony orchestra, you know, concert tickets weren't expensive. One company didn't control all that.
Yeah.
Doing tours was different. Is there a different? We talked about this early on, but coming to America now and it's a different sort of tour.
Yes.
How different do you think it's going to feel? Or not different at all?
Well, not different at all to me, because I've been playing in similar theatres, art centres, clubs for the last 5 years anyway. The only time that I play to large amounts of people is in the summer. Like for June, July, August each year, I fly across to Italy and I play Friday, Saturday, Sunday and possibly a Monday. And I play in the piazzas outdoors, and there's like 2,000-3,000 people. That's what it is, and that goes through the summer. The most I played to was in Romania, where there was 7,000 when I made the DVD. I've done a few festivals with Status Quo. There's a tour of National Trust houses in England, famous houses where people used to live years and years ago, couldn't keep their houses going. Like Lord Mountbatten, he has one called Broadlands. Lord Mountbatten was Prince Charles's uncle. You've got places like that you can go to. There's about 16 of them. Anyway, it's a tour, and they have beautiful grounds, lovely picnics, and you can see the art gallery in the house or whatever. And I've probably supported them about 4 times, because I can with my music, because it goes that way as well, you see. It's not just arty. There's lots of sort of shuffly type pieces of music in there, and it suits a summer's afternoon. So yeah, it's something coming back. It's going to be smaller. It is what it is. I know what I'm doing. I'm kind of a delicatessen now more than a supermarket, and that's what it is. But I'm kind of happy with that, because that's where I am now.
What type of bread that we're serving?
Yeah.
Let me ask Bob the last question, because I know Bob's a big fan. Bob, I'd like you to ask a question or two.
Come on, Bob.
By the way, how's your hand? How's your arm?
Oh, fantastic.
He's lying. I know he's lying.
No, I'm really not, actually. I feel fine. I do.
Okay, Bob.
I'm enjoying
I
it.
was wondering that since you've been working with the children of special needs, would this be able to branch out into the United States and possibly other parts of Europe, because there's so
Yes.
much need?
It would be a logical move for me to try and bring it into America. I'd very much like to do it here at some stage. Obviously in Europe there is a language problem, and you can't have a language problem when you're teaching something as refined as what this is, It's rather difficult. If it was in Spain, I'd be okay, because I'm fluent in Spanish. That wouldn't be a problem. But the most logical place to try it would be here. And I think to teach people to felicitate the program, to get it going, would be fairly easy here. Probably easier here than in England, because the English people are rather conservative. They don't jump on things quite as quick as you do here.
Thank you very much.
No, thank you.